security force down in there as well. The pitch, it's all over. The magic number is 0. Here come the players, and here come the fans. And the players trying to get out of there as best they can. They head for the dugout. It is all over. The Angels win the Western Division title, and wait to find out when Boston's going to win their division. The fans have come out on the field. The security force not able to do much to prevent it. And all you can hope for is that they don't damage the field too much. The Angels win it 8-3. And going back to the 6th inning when they scored 4 and 4 more in the 7th. And Brian Downing with 2 home runs tonight as you see them come into the Angel dressing room. Downing drove in 5. So those are the Western Division champions. An 8-3 win for the Angels over the Texas Rangers. Still some baseball to be played. Not only in the remainder of the season, 2 more games in this series, then to Kansas City and to Texas, but also some playoff and that ultimate goal, reaching the World Series. John Candelaria is the winner tonight as the Angels win at 8-3. The loser is Dale Mahorsic. And the fans coming onto the field, they're all over the infield here at the Big A. And the only thing, as I said, you can hope for is that it's not a destructive crowd, one that is in appreciation of what they have seen here in 1986. A club that not too many people thought would finish high in the Western Division. They said, well, they have too many key players that are too well up in years. That didn't seem to hold true at all. The starting pitching of Mike Witt, McCasker, Don Sutton, and John Candelaria coming back after the elbow problem, coming to the fore. And then the solid performances of those people that have to play every day. Wally Joyner, who was pretty much carrying things in the first.
Are we ready? We're ready. It's starting to get wet in here. The celebration is just starting to heat up. Gene Mach is being surrounded. John Candelaria is the first one to get wet, and they're all starting with the ammunition right now. The excitement started a little bit slowly. I think with the big lead, the players started coming in here one at a time and getting set for this thing. And we'll try to get some players up here right now as they're just really starting to break it open. Marcel, come on, let's get... Latch, congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
What did it mean tonight to have Candelaria going for that victory?
You know, Candy's been a money pitcher. We got a bunch of money pitchers on this club. We got a bunch of money players, and the guys really came through. They got a couple runs early, and the guys just kept battling, and Gary hits a home run, and the next thing you know, we turn it loose.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
Great job. Gene, come on up here, Gene. Congratulations. The winning skipper, Gene Mach.
Well, it's a great bunch of people, Joe, and I'm so proud of what they did early in the year and hanging together when things weren't just right with our pitching staff. They had great confidence that once we got our team intact, that we were going to be tough to deal with. And I'm so proud that they waited until, or held on until Candelaria and Donnie Moore and everybody got sound. And we're ready for anybody now. I believe that with all my heart.
Well, I know before the game, it's just, especially in your eyes, you know, it's like putting the bats away before the game is over. You were out there hiding today, and I know our crew came down here trying to put some cables in here and some lines in here for this celebration, and you didn't really care for it because the game wasn't over yet.
I have a certain amount of superstitions, I guess. Superstitious bones in my body. Damn this stuff.
Get a towel. Here you go. Here you go.
Where?
Right there.
Thank you very much.
It's supposed to be in the mouth, boys.
Our ability to play in the late innings was proven once again tonight. They just, when they get to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, there's a lot of sincere talk on the bench about, hey, boys, these are our innings. And they're not hollow. You can tell how hollow it sounds. You've managed long enough. You hear those hollow words, they don't mean anything. But it's so sincere, they mean every word that these are our innings, and they play like it.
Well, you've had a comeback club all year, and it just tonight was no different. He's got it. How did that feel? Oh, I knew. My old pitcher, Terry Forster, had to do this to me, right? Who else? Who else? He never did.
Like rookie.
Congratulations, Gene. Gene, can I ask you? I know it's a little premature, and I know it's not premature in your mind. Who are your pitchers in Boston?
I don't know yet, honestly, Joe. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. It figures to be Witt and McCaskill, but I really couldn't tell you for sure. We're going to analyze the whole thing now that we've got a chance to do it. Because like I said, I'm a little superstitious. I wanted to get this thing settled and then have a pure objective outlook on things to come.
Well, when you started spring training, you said it's going to take 90 victories. Tonight is victory number 90.
I wasn't interested in being a prophet, Joe. I was just interested in being effective and being in first place.
Thank you, Gene. Good luck. Well, you see what's happening. Wally Joyner. Uh-oh, he's got a loaded bottle, too. He's just using it for ammunition, though. That's okay. Wally, another RBI tonight. You're up to 95. You've had a slow second half, but you carried this ball club, and you're back the first half of the season.
Well, it's just great. It's a great feeling for these guys. I'm just glad that I can play with the Angels in 1986, and I was fortunate to get off to a great start. But shoot, last night we had 3 different guys have RBIs. Tonight we had 3 different guys. Everybody's playing great. You got to give credit to John Candelaria, and hopefully we can do great in postseason this year.
Well, you've had an unselfish ball club. It didn't really matter, as you mentioned, different guy every night. It doesn't really matter as long as you win, and it just seems like you guys have had the magic.
All year we've had the magic. A couple of times we had some losing streaks, but we hung together. We got a great pitching staff. Everybody stayed healthy. It looks like I'm healthy for the postseason now, and
maybe you might catch a cold tonight.
Oh, it's going to be great. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Wally. Who is it? That's Foster again. This is crazy. I didn't get this wet in '82. Where we go? Terry, get up here, Terry. You want to be? I know you're safe when you're next to me. Terry Forster.
I am, but not you, Joe.
Boy, is this beautiful. My wash and wears tonight. How special is this to you?
Well, very special, being released like I was this spring, and everybody said everything happens for the best, and in my case it sure was. I'm back home, and greatest bunch of guys in the world, I'll tell you. And have a lot of fun.
Does it look dead for you early on? You're finally getting some of your own medicine. Chuck Finley's getting him. But you helped this ball club. They picked you up. They lost a couple of guys. They lost Candelaria. They lost Donnie Moore. You picked up the slack along with Doug Corbett. And it just seems like everybody who put on an Angel uniform really was a contributor.
Well, especially in the bullpen, everybody that was down there this year, everybody did a great job. Forrest did a good job, Slayton, and everybody was called upon, especially the guys now. Now, I'm so proud of them, and we did what we had to do to win, and it's just a great feeling, especially this early.
Nice going.
Okay, thanks.
Doug DeSensei, come on over here, Doug. Yeah. They were writing you off early, too, you know that?
Yeah, they did. They were trying to, but, when it gets tough get going, I'm just happy to be a part of this team and be able to contribute what I did. And this is great. I love it.
Really, what was the difference in you? Because you started out, you were struggling against right-hand pitching. You were handling the left-handers okay. And all of a sudden, something clicked, and Doug DeSensei started driving at the ball and hitting the ball out of the ballpark, and it just seemed like a whole rejuvenation.
Well, the season's 6 months, and you tried it for consistency all the way through, and I just got into I felt that I was swinging the bat good, and I started hitting some balls at people, and then I had a little injury, and all of a sudden I started pressing, and things just weren't going my way, Joe, and I was really struggling. But when my dad came in, he says, look, you're at the bottom of the rope, it's time to tie the knot and start climbing back up, and I took his advice.
Well, they say, when it comes around to the September, the older guys are supposed to get tired, but that's when you guys, Bob Boone, Reggie Jackson, just picked up the slack.
Well, I can't believe it. When it comes, well, a friend of mine once, when the leaves turn brown, we know who's going to be around. And the leaves are starting to turn brown, and the veterans really came through and carried this team at the end. And as I said, it's just great to play on this team. We've got solid depth all the way through, and that's why we're here pouring champagne tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe. My
great
pleasure.
Year.
All righty.
Yes. We're going to come down here to talk to the chairman of the board, the man who's owned this ball club for 26 years, and you couldn't be prouder, Gene, could you?
I'm very proud of this ball club. I think that with the veterans and the youngsters, they've done a great job, and I want to congratulate Gene Mauch. He's done a great job with this club, playing the youngsters part of the time to give the veterans some rest, and his pitching staff. And, of course, Mike Port, the general manager, has done a good job bringing up all these young kids the last couple of years.
And Mr. Archer, you gave me this pin in the spring, and this is the one that says this year's for Gene. And Bob Starr and I wore it religiously all year, and both Gene Mock and Gene Autry, this is the year for Gene, right?
Well, thank you very much, Joe, and I'm going to tell you something. You and Bob Starr have done a wonderful job of calling the play-by-play with this group of youngsters. But I think this is a great ball club. This is the first phase. You got to win the Western Division, and the next phase is to win the American League pennant, and then from there on to the World Series.
Well, I want to congratulate you and Mrs. Autry for just a tremendous organization and a fine bunch of guys.
Thank you, Joe, and you're a fine guy, too.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to have some more celebrating, but we'll be back right after this.
Champagne party continues in the clubhouse, and the on-the-field party continues here at the Big A. As the Angels win the Western Division title, they clinch it tonight with an 8-3 win over the Texas Rangers. The final totals on the ball game: 8 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Angels, and 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error for the Texas Rangers. Let's go back downstairs to Joe Torre with General Manager Mike Port.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, General Manager Mike Port. I'll tell you, Mike, it's been an up and down year. A lot of controversy early in the season, and of course toward the end of last year, losing out to Kansas City last year. It has to be so satisfying for you tonight.
Oh, indeed, I think it is, Joe, for all the fellas. I think the veteran core that we had on this club, they had a steel determination that they didn't want to finish one game back in the division again this year, and they helped bring the younger players along, and they all combined to do a fine job. This is step 1 of 3 steps. We've been in the LCS, the League Championship Series, before, and I think you'll find that this club wants to complete all 3 steps, bring the World Series to Anaheim, and get the job done in the overall.
Well, you did a fine job this year of molding. You brought in a Wally Joyner who was like a breath of fresh air. He seemed to carry the ball club the first half of the year. And then all of a sudden, the sensei comes to life. Reggie now here in September. Schofield, a great second half. Pettis come on in the second half. It just seemed to be a real team effort, holding together while Candelaria and Donnie Moore were out.
Well, aside from the efforts of the players themselves, I think it's obvious that not enough credit can be given to Gene Mock and his staff. I know some people refer to it as platooning, but as well, it was playing the right guys at the right time, and in the ultimate, keeping a lot of the fellas fresh all the way until the end and getting the best performances out of them possible.
Well, good luck in Boston, and then wherever you go after that.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
Okay, Mike. Let me see. Who else are we? Oh, Barry Pettis is getting himself a bath over here. Here we go. Well, the excitement is, it's all wet, that's for sure. We know that as you're looking around here.
Yeah, Joe
Okay,
Torre,
we're going to get Brian Downing over here in a second. Yeah, Bob.
I was just going to ask you, see if you could track down Brian down. I knew he'd be surrounded by photographers and newspaper and other radio people and television people here, but you should be able to get him pretty soon, would you not?
We're going to get him. We're going to get Gary Pettis up here right now. Come on up here, Gary. Gary, did you know? Of course you knew. The first home run ever right-handed, and you're a right-hand hitter naturally, right?
Naturally, I'm a right-handed hitter. It was my first home run right-handed, and it couldn't have come at a more opportune time. It was a hanging curveball, and I hit it well, and when it went out, I was just so happy that I wanted us to come back and win the ball game. I would have hated to hit a home run and not have us win the ball game.
Well, you just seemed to break the spell because Mike Mason was coasting right along, and all of a sudden he hangs the breaking ball to you. You do what you're supposed to with it, and boom, you're back in the game, and then all of a sudden the home runs came.
Well, we've had that kind of year. We've been down before, and we've battled, and we've come back, and it's just an indication of what kind of ball club we have. We know that when we're down by a few runs, we're just a swing away. All we need is to get a few guys on.
Well, you guys are just a swing away. I tell you, it just seemed that this whole organization, this whole ball club picked up for each other and played very, very well. And yourself, I know you get a little over-anxious sometimes, but tonight you seem to have it when you needed it.
Yes, we did. It's been that way for us all year. We know we have a good ball club, and we don't care what anybody says. We're going to go into Boston and fight as hard as we can, and hopefully we'll bring a championship back to California.
Well, thank you, Gary. And you see it. This is the celebration. The American League West champion California Angels. That's it from the locker room. Now back up to Bob Starr.
All right, Joe Torre, thank you. And our congratulations to the Angels on a great 1986 and on to Boston and finish up this season and on to Boston for the playoff series. This Angels baseball game has been brought to you by Toyota. who offers a full line of 1986 cars and trucks. More dependability, more quality, more satisfied owners. Who could ask for anything more? By PSA, the expressway from Los Angeles to San Francisco, every half hour from 6:30 in the morning to 8 at night every business day. And by Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. For our executive producer of sports for KTLA, Zorro Quazarano. For our director, Steve Orlandella. And for my partner, Joe Torre. This is Bob Starr. Hope you'd enjoyed 86. And stick around for the championship series coming up. So long from the Big A.